Hello, Andy Daly here, and I'm very excited to be reading you Marvel Superhero Adventures #1. It's called Mealtime Mayhem. Let's get right into it. On page 1, Spider-Man is hanging out on a rooftop like Spider-Man does. He's eating some French fries and thinking to himself, he says, I like fries, I like fries, I like fries on a quiet day. Probably just going to be a quiet day, right? Well, there's a voice from somewhere saying, where is it? Have you seen it? Help me! Spider-Man thinks, there goes my quiet day. Maybe, though, it'll just be a nice little kid looking for their cat. Okay, so he goes and checks it out and he sees Thor. Thor says, Spider-Man, thank my father you're here. I need help. Of course, what's wrong? Are there frost giants rampaging through the city? Or is the destroyer causing more mayhem again? And Thor says, no, worse. I can't find my hammer. Whenever I need my hammer, I just reach out and it always comes to me. Okay, says Spider-Man. But look, he tries it. See? Nothing, no hammer. I don't know what to do. Okay, says Spider-Man, let's think. What I usually do when I lose something is try to remember the last place I remember it being. Says Thor. Yes, he's thinking. I know I used it in glorious battle against the Fenris wolf early this morning. Well, that's a start, says Spider-Man. Let's go back to where you fought and look around. Says Thor. Oh, what's wrong? I cannot fly without my hammer. Oh. So, do you need a lift? Says Spider-Man. And there they go. Now, he's giving him a lift. They're flying through the air. I cannot thank you enough for this, Spider-Man. No worries. Just keep still back there, okay? I'm a little too young to be going to the chiropractor. Chiropractor is he'll fix your back, because your back hurts. Come, young spider. The hammer must be here somewhere. Give me a second, will you? My back just needs to realign real quick. He says, no, look over here, Thor. Do you remember specifically where you last used the hammer? No, my memory is a little fuzzy. Did I leave it here at all? Now I can't even remember. But I know I used my hammer's mighty power to bring down that wolf. What if my hammer is not even here? It should be coming to me when I reach for it, even if it was in this rubble. Yet it is not. Spider-Man, I do not like this. It's okay, Thor. It's okay. Maybe you could get a new one. A new one? Doesn't seem happy about that idea. A new one? No! I cannot lose my hammer. I need my hammer. No other will do! Ha ha ha! Who dares laugh at the anguish of Thor? There's a laugh coming from someplace. Oh, me, of course. Loki! Uh-oh. Why are you here making a mockery of my misery, says Thor. That's what I do, big brother, says Loki. Spider-Man says, this feels like a family thing to me. Maybe I should just see myself out. He don't want to get stuck in the middle. Do you know where my hammer is, Loki? Maybe. Loki's being a jerk. Give it back to me, fiend! Brothers. Give what back to you, you oaf? You know what I speak of, my hammer! Why? You have some pictures you need to hang? No, I have you to pummel. Oh boy. Stand back, Spider-Man, says Thor. I will handle my trickster brother. His trickery is only outmeasured by his arrogance. Arrogance, eh? That seems to give Spider-Man an idea. He says, Thor, let's just get out of here. We're trying to find your hammer. Your brother couldn't have stolen it. He's just wasting our time. And Loki and Thor both say, what? Spider-Man says, you've told me a little about your hammer and a lot about your brother, and from what you've told me, Loki would never be able to steal your hammer without you knowing. Yes, I would, says Loki. Really? I don't see the hammer with you. That's true. Loki doesn't seem to have the hammer. Well, of course you don't see it. I hid the hammer in another dimension, says Loki. I magically put it there after ingeniously opening a portal underneath the hammer while my lazy brother was taking a nap. Ah, yes, now I remember, says Thor, the nap. A sleep for the ages that was. Spider-Man says, whatever you say, Loki, but I'll believe it when I see it. Fine, says Loki. Believe this, Spider-Man. And he makes a portal door interdimensional, interportal thing. There! Now he's holding the hammer. Uh-oh, says Loki, because Thor's holding out his hand. And he goes, well played, Spider-Man. Hammer to me! Bum, ba, ba, ba. Welcome back, friend. Thor has his hammer back. Now, let's do what we do best. He just clobbers Loki. He goes, by goodness, that felt good. You really have a strong attachment to that hammer, says Spider-Man. It's not just the hammer I'm attached to. It's what it means to me, says Thor. You see what it says here, engraved on the side? Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor. This hammer is a gift from my father. Every time I wield it and harness its power, I am reminded of my father's faith in me. I will be forever thankful that he believed in me and that I have grown to be worthy. Wow, that's pretty awesome, says Spider-Man. Yes, it is mightily awesome. And I have you to thank, Spider-Man, for getting it back to me. I cannot ever thank you enough. And now he's flying away with the power of his hammer. You're welcome, says Spider-Man. Say, what happened to my fries? The end. So this is the story of how one guy finds his hammer and another guy loses his fries. What are you gonna do? Well, I very much enjoyed reading that to you. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Let's do this again sometime, shall we?